Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. I'm Star Wars competitor Andrew DiMolanta.
And I'm Nicki DiMolanta.
And we both hope that everybody is staying home.
Yes.
And practicing social distancing because the more we all do our part, the quicker this shit can be over with.
Yes.
Because I'm ready to get back into the norm of things and back to the normal practice of, Schmoedown. And,
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. I mean, this is a Schmoedown show, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is the focus. But yeah, I'm ready to go back to normal.
Yeah. And, anyway, so again, we only have one match to go over this week because obviously Corona. But anything that you want to talk about before we get into this match?
No, I don't think so.
No, actually, I think something dropped on the Facebook page. Was it today or yesterday?
I don't even know what you're about to say, so I don't know.
It's the Champions match.
Oh, I mean, I saw a post about it today, but I think I saw one about it yesterday too. Well, yes, I think Christian had posted something about like, what kind of exhibition matches would you guys want to see?
Yeah.
And then, everybody was like, oh, and then he gave like examples of some of the ones that I guess they were tossing around. And then today I did see, I don't think it was a confirmation, but it was like, this is what we're planning on.
Yeah, a strong possibility of
like
happening.
Exhibition match between all of the current belt holders, and it would be Roca v. Merle v. Damon v. Smets.
And it's going to be a regular.
I guess it's going to be a regular. I was thinking like, oh, then it's probably going to be, I don't know, Intergeekdom at least.
Intergeekdom will probably be the easiest balance of that.
But
obviously, again, like Smets is the clear favorite of that. If you do it in Intergeekdom, but it's not fair to like somebody like Damon or Smets to put him in basically a singles match because we obviously know who are the favorites to win that.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be like a purely singles, question pool or whatever. I mean, it would be kind of fun if because the singles and teams question bank basically is probably the same.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've got Dan and Roca. Dan hasn't gone into Intergeekdom yet. He's going to, but they're basically teams and singles. Yeah. The representation of teams and singles. Then you got your Intergeekdom and Smets, and you got your Star Wars and Damon.
Well, Damon's
so that's basically like
too, though,
whatever. So that's basically like 3 different categories. So I mean, if you had like 33% singles teams questions, 30% Intergeekdom, 33% Star Wars, maybe that would be a fun mixture.
Yeah. But who knows?
I don't know. It's probably just going to be a straight up regular match, but
it's
going to be fun.
Me personally, I don't find that it's like, oh, that's a fun match, but it's something that it's because like the point of these exhibition matches are like not only to fill the void of matches that we're not getting, especially now, but the bottom line purpose of exhibition matches is to pull people into the Patreon because the only people that are getting this is the Patrons.
True. So, it's not going to drop regular ever?
No, it's for patrons, I believe. Somebody might want to fact check me on that, but from my understanding, the exhibitions period are only patrons. So it's like as a patron, it would be like it's like this is kind of lopsided in my opinion. Yeah. So it's kind of like, well, why are we doing that?
Yeah. So because somebody in that Facebook thread it was they were like saying the same thing, like, oh, that's kind of lopsided. Yeah. Damon, I think they said Damon and Smets are going to get demolished. And Alex Damon actually chimed in and he was like, well, even if I get demolished, he's not, he said he's not terrible at singles. He said, I'm not fully terrible at singles. I'm not championship level, but I'm not bad. But then somebody was like, well, if it makes you feel any better, Kevin Smets only got one question right in the free for all. Yeah. So, but I'm not. Well, I don't want to watch a match where I know Kevin Smets is going to get torn apart.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. It's like, why would I watch a match where I know pretty sure who's going to come out on top of that? It's like the point of exhibition match, like the Rocky match, a perfect example. It's like, okay, so we know both competitors are competent at Rocky. Yeah. So I don't know. That's just something that I just didn't feel. I feel like because like the horror exhibitions, the holiday exhibitions, they're like
they're clear, strong players in those
in those categories.
So that's why I'm kind of hoping maybe there's a mixture. Like on the wheel, you're gonna see
Like
a healthy
Empire,
mixture of like, you know, there's a third of the wheel's gonna each third of the wheel is gonna represent
that
league.
could be. I mean, you know, I might be wrong. I might see this. I'm like, this is actually really, really fun. But then again, you're taking a huge dynamic out of it because all this is gonna be done through StreamYards. So it's kind of like.
Hopefully they got better internet than Mike Kalinowski.
Yeah. We'll get into that later.
Got him.
But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this match between Who's the Boss and the Odd Couple.
Pull out my notes. Right here.
Yeah.
So we got Who's the Boss versus the Odd Couple. We got the Exchange versus the Rockstar.
And this is part 2. This is a rematch from the Chicago match.
From the Chicago match, which we were there for.
Yes, we were there.
Yeah, exciting.
Yeah, and a fun little thing about that I noticed when they aired the matches like to the public, because obviously the people in Chicago got to see it live, then the patrons got it first, or if you had a live stream, you got to see it live, and then it got released to the public the week after. I remember them promoting this event as a double main event, and what happened in the first time, if you watched it live, the Star Wars Championship match was first. And then the team's match, which I believe was the number one contender match, went second. So it's a double main event, which I would have put the Star Wars match second and made that the main event because
it was for a belt.
Because one's a title match, and two, it's at Star Wars Celebration, so like 50% of the audience is Star Wars fans. Yeah. So, and I think that's what happened too, because like a lot of people showed up just for the Star Wars match and then dipped. So. And I think that's what ended up happening is when it got released to the public, the team match went first, and then the Star Wars match. So now it's like they kind of flipped it to where the Star Wars match was kind of the main event of that of releasing it to the public.
I didn't realize that.
So I think that was just kind of audible. They called it like, okay, I think the Star Wars match was a little more banging than the team match, even though a lot more happened with the team match.
Inaudible.
Yeah.
Called inaudible.
Anyways, so this is a rematch.
Inaudible.
We already went over this.
I forget. It's an audible.
An audible. Football terms. God, I wish football doesn't get delayed by this whole COVID stuff. If everybody holds to it another month of this shit, and then we'll be back to normal. Hopefully.
You don't want to see Tom Brady be a buck.
It's already happening.
You don't want to see
though? Okay. Football tangent. I'm sorry, Shmoedown, on people that don't watch football. If this does not lead to a Super Bowl appearance in one of the 2 years that Tom Brady's on the team, why do this? Because I'm notorious for hating Tom Brady. I'm sure he's a great guy. I mean, he's arguably it's without a doubt he's the best quarterback to ever play the game. The dude's got 6 rings. The dude's got 6 rings.
You can't argue with that.
You can't argue with that.
Can't really argue.
But that doesn't make me hate him any less. I just hate him because he keeps winning.
I mean, he wins. He was on the cover of GQ.
And I'm sorry we're going on a huge.
Giselle.
I'm sorry I'm going on a huge tangent right now, but it's like, do I want Tom Brady to suck this next coming season, or do I want him to carry my team to a title? So if he carries them to at least one title, he gets another ring. It's like, I don't want to see that, but I want to see the Bucks winning the title.
If he brings them to the title, then it's just going to be more of like, wow, Tom Brady's the best. See, he took the Bucks. Next, they're going to put him on the Dolphins, and they're going to win a fucking.
No, I think this is his last hurrah. He wants to go on top. I bet you if he wins the Super Bowl next season, he's go, all right, peace, guys, and he retires on top. With one of the notorious sucky teams in all of NFL history.
Real quick. Football tangent.
Sorry.
Quick. Who are some of the worst teams last year? The Browns, the Bears.
So it's Browns,
the Dolphins.
Browns, Dolphins. Who was the number 1 pick? Bengals.
Jags.
No, the Jaguars weren't.
Did you already say Browns? Because they're not even a team.
Yeah. So
Bears.
So
haven't been relevant since like 85.
Number 1 pick
right?
is Bengals. Then I think Miami's at 5th. So, but off the top of my head, it's Bengals, Browns, Dolphins, Bucks.
Somebody will fact check you. I'm
sure. Again, I very loosely followed the NFL last year. I followed college more because our team's winning more than the Bucks are.
We figured it out. Everyone. UCF figured it out. We broke the code.
We didn't do as well as the past 2 seasons, but still, we have a winning record. But anyways, so let's get into this.
When we were in UCF, oh man,
I remember
didn't see a single win until like
the year or two after I graduated or you graduated, we went winless.
I was in school for the winless season.
You were?
I think.
No, we had graduated by then.
I don't know. I just remember losing
the
a
year
lot.
we went winless. I'm sorry, we're still on this football tangent. That we had a self safety on ourselves, a non-contact safety. When it was a kickoff, the guy caught the ball. He came out of the end zone and goes, "Nah, I'm gonna change my mind." He backs up into the end zone and takes a knee,
man.
and then the guy, and then he's like, "Wait, what happened?" And the ref is like, "Sorry, dude.
What end zone?
Sorry,
am I in?
dude. Safety."
How do I football?
But anyways,
I didn't see a win until I was a man. You know what I'm saying? I was born in the losses. Didn't see my first win until I was a senior. Bane.
Anyways.
That's how the quote goes. Anyways, Odd Couple, who's the boss?
Trying to get it back on this topic. Sorry, guys.
All right. So, rematch. Last match was in Chicago.
Yes.
Back on the rails here. Snyder says Bateman is playing a nice guy, and he insinuated that act is bullshit. Ben says he's a different player than he was.
Yeah, he
you
is.
know, when they played, I guess, last time.
And he hasn't lost his edge.
No.
He's just he's a face. Again, this term of face with an edge keeps coming up, and that seems to be a lot of the
And also, in that Chicago match, was that the match?
The infamous slap match.
I mean, I know that, but was that the match where Bateman on like the last question was like,
they had
"Can I
no
get a JTE?" But they didn't have one,
they-
and that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Yeah, he's a different player than he was then.
Oh yeah.
Roxy says they're gonna annihilate who's the boss. So we'll see how that threat pans out.
We already know how this pans out.
Odd Couple came out with Roxy. Who's the boss? Came out with Dagnino, Roca, Dan, and the Barbarian, accompanied
And
by
again,
Elvis.
Dagnino takes up all the camera space.
Why wouldn't he?
I know.
He's a baller. Round one.
Just get the memo, Dagnino. Jesus.
Round one. The drama started quick. Question one.
Yeah. It was on the
It
first
was
question?
Question.
Are you serious?
one.
Wow.
It happened. I don't remember what the question was, but the answer was,
Idris Elba.
coronavirus victim Idris Elba. I hope he's doing all right,
I'm
and
sure
I
he
hope he's
is.
recovered.
I'm sure he is. It's Black
What was
Superman.
it? It was Andreyko. He wrote Idris
Elba.
Elba, a la Jessica Alba, instead of Elba. Bateman jumped on it
But the counter argument to that is he said Elba
when he pronounced it.
when he pronounced it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, anyways, Bateman was like, "Nope, challenge," and I think he probably got Tom on the stage or whatever.
Yeah.
They challenged it. I was kind of like, I get it, but also,
Yeah.
But then again, I think Bateman kind of went over this in the post-match interview. Like, if I see an opportunity, I'll be silly to not go for it.
And this is where I learned it from. As Bateman, it's like if you see an opportunity,
that's how you
challenge it. Just
that's
challenge
what
it.
you do.
That's what you do. And
that's how you get to the top.
They ended up wasting their challenge so insanely early,
Well,
but it really didn't. It didn't.
It was inconsequential in this
It is
match.
consequential. They didn't need to go to it. So that's just a perfect example of how Ben looks at the game. It's like if I have a chance to get, especially in a high profile match like this, if there's an opportunity to take away points, go for it because you never know what might happen.
And we're kind of jumping ahead of ourselves here because people were talking about, oh, that's just Bateman playing his mind games, trying to get into their heads.
Yeah.
I honestly, maybe a little bit. But I feel like question one, like I feel like you got to warm up to that shit.
But here's the thing: you look at Andreyko for the rest of the match.
He was a little. He seemed a little rattled.
Seemed very rattled.
Maybe not rattled, but pissed.
Oh yeah,
like he definitely seemed like he was annoyed.
He's one of those players where where he sorry, we have to make sure she's sleeping. But yeah, I've seen him be one of these players where he allows players to get under his skin.
Andreyko, you're saying?
Andreyko, yeah. Not very often, but when you are able to rattle him like that, it does affect his gameplay. And it's more often than not like somebody like Bateman that does it to him.
Which is interesting because I personally believe that Snyder's the same way. I think Snyder's a little easier to get to than Andreyko.
I think it's not so much of a player getting under his skin; it's himself.
Just kind of getting in his own head.
Getting in his own head, and when he allows himself to do that, it's very easy to shake him more.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, and it's very visibly noticeable that Andreyko was not playing like he usually does after that point.
Yeah.
I just forgot that it was the first question.
It was question numero uno.
Wow.
First question.
We'll get over. We'll go later on. Later on, we'll get into that ruling a bit more because we actually have a call in from a squadron commander that he wants to talk more about that. So after we go over this match, we'll dive into that. And we'll take this call that we have.
Put a pin in it.
Yes.
And we'll come back.
Yes.
Okay. Benjamin and Jeffrey. I don't know if Jeff is. I assume Jeff is short for Jeffrey.
Yeah, I imagine.
Both got perfect rounds. Jefferson Snyder.
I doubt that's it.
No, it's probably Jeffrey. Unless his parents just had him. They were like,
Jeff.
That sounds good. So Ben and Jeff got perfect rounds. The bonus question was about Jack Nicholson winning his first Oscar in what film? And it was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
And this was, I'm sorry,
this was the bonus question.
Bonus question, yeah, because everybody but Riley? Or did Jeff miss one?
Ben and Jeff got perfect rounds.
Okay, so sorry.
Doesn't listen to me ever.
It's our marriage.
This is our marriage. Sorry, everybody.
I'll pay attention when you watch Lord of the Rings.
Burn. I just got grilled. I don't think that's gonna happen though. I don't think I'm gonna watch it. I don't have like 100 million hours to spare.
Those extension cuts are 4 hours long. So.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
No. I don't. Many kudos to Rachel Cushing and whoever else knows Lord of the Rings very well.
Sock.
It just looks like
it
looks so boring. It looks like
they're better than the books, I think.
It looks so dry too, like crunching into a granola bar. I maybe got dry.
I maybe got like
a full mouth of just granola bar dry.
I maybe got like 30 pages into the first book. I'm like, I'm bored. Let me go watch the movies.
Thank you. Oh well.
It's the book. The books are like, they're so long.
Let's walk for a couple days, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll keep on walking for a couple days.
Hey, let's walk for like five days.
I gotta go throw this ring into a volcano or something.
Here's this lake that's like this many years old. There's the history of the lake and the mythology of the lake. Okay, let's go walk some more. Oh, we gotta fight a battle. 2 pages.
There's a tree over there. Yeah. That tree did a magic thing, and it has an oracle in it. And
I could be wrong. This is hearsay for me, but like I got like 30 pages into it, and I just put it down. I couldn't pick it back up.
I got a ring here. It's pretty cool. Somebody engraved it with some scribbles.
Let's get back to the match.
Looks cool. Who wants second breakfast?
So the bonus question again. Sorry.
Bonus question. They both got it right.
Yeah, so they both have flawless first rounds.
So 16-16 tie at the end of round 1.
Yes.
Round 2. I'm fucking myself up because I kept abbreviating Odd Couple as OC and Who's the Boss is WTB, and I really have to actually concentrate on what it means. Odd Couple spins opponent's choice. Who's the Boss sticks him with Star Wars. Which you figure was probably a kiss of death.
Yeah.
However,
I mean, these questions. Granted, again, this is the team's division.
Yeah, it's not the Star Wars.
It's not the Star Wars division. I was
which
like,
is a different caliber.
Oh yeah. Oh duh. Did you see the movie? Oh yeah. I mean, you got most of them right too, right?
I did.
I think you got like 2 of them wrong.
I got a couple.
Yeah, but arguably the hardest question in that pool was the TIE Fighter question. Like how many TIE Fighters pursued the Millennium Falcon after they escaped the Death Star? It's like, let me think for a second. I had to think about it for like a couple of seconds. Like, 4. So. Yeah.
And they went to multiple choice on that one, I think.
Yes, they went to multiple choice on that. They went to multiple choice on the Yoda quote
twice.
Yeah, the Yoda quote was the other one.
No, did they?
Yeah.
Oh no, they went to multiple choice, but they missed that one. No, they got the Yoda question. They missed the TIE Fighter.
Yes, they missed the TIE Fighter. Got the Yoda quote.
Well, they went to multiple choice twice. Like we said, one time Who is the Boss stole. The other time
I can't believe they went to multiple choice on the.
TIE Fighter?
The Yoda quote.
Oh, the
TIE Fighter one I understood because it's another one. It's like you're not paying attention to the movie. You're not gonna really. What?
I have a hair on myself. Oh, God, being a girl is rough. I'm just covered in my own hair all day.
Well, I guess our daughter will figure that out.
I'll let her figure it out on her own. So yeah, they went to multiple choice twice, missed, got it stolen, got the other one. Who's the boss? They get spinner's choice. They went with Pixar, which was interesting.
It's interesting, yeah.
I don't know which one of them was like, Pixar, hit me. I don't know which one.
Might have been Mark. I don't know.
An interesting choice.
Should have had this conversation with Mark when he was on our show the other day.
It wasn't bad. They did well.
No, they did pretty good, yeah.
They went to multiple choice also twice.
Yeah.
But they got both of them.
Yeah. And you can do that because they stole that 1 point. So it's like, okay, you stole one, so
you got a little buffer.
You got a little buffer to go to multiple choice a couple times.
The end of round 2, 25 to 27.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the boss?
Who's the boss?
Who's the boss?
Who's the boss?
I don't know why sometimes like a Kate Mulligan voice comes out.
Oh yeah. That's more.
Who's the boss?
That's more. What's Fargo? What?
Fargo.
What?
Do I look like I know Fargo?
No, like the oh yes, yeah, oh yeah.
Is that like Canada?
No, it's not Canada. It's I don't know. Somebody in the comments tell me what I'm thinking. Like what accent? Where's Fargo shot? Or where's the location of Fargo?
Oh
yeah.
I'm like about to go into an Australian accent. I don't know why. What do Canadian people say?
Oh yeah.
You want some maple syrup?
We follow somebody on YouTube that's from Canada like all the time.
Maple candy?
The house.
The house. Hockey,
Come on, we listen to Smitty on the regular.
He doesn't sound like a Canadian person.
When he says it's like house.
House.
When he gets into those type of words, you hear it come out.
House.
But yeah, so we're not talking about the other Canadian that I don't follow anymore.
Oh boy.
But
awkward. Round 3. Round 3. 2-pointer for Odd Couple.
Mm-hmm.
Famous actors and actresses. They gave it to Jeffrey. He got a question about old dogs and the lead actor in Old Dogs. He got it.
I don't remember. I don't know. Whatever.
I have no idea. If I had to guess, I'd say Robert De Niro. Is that right?
I don't know.
Who knows? Who cares?
Who's to say?
Who's to say? 2-pointer for family films. It bounces back to Who's the Boss.
Who's the boss?
Who's the boss? Family films gave it to Marcus Riley. Adam's Family question.
Oh, and he
got it.
He knocked that out of the park too.
He got it.
Oh yeah.
3-pointer back to Odd Couple. Fantasy sci-fi. Obviously,
yes.
Marcus Andreyko took it.
Yeah.
Who played Rose Tico in The Last Jedi?
I'm surprised he missed this one.
I am too.
It's not like a deep cut Star Wars question.
And with all of the controversy surrounding her in The Last Jedi and especially Rise of Skywalker.
Granted, she's not a high profile actress.
But the name Kelly Marie Tran was just like shoved in our faces for like months.
Yeah, and I maybe he didn't follow all that drama. Maybe he just wasn't aware of it.
Maybe still, just in that moment it just fell out of his brain. Maybe he did know it.
I don't know. I was surprised, not only being a Star Wars junkie, but people know that Kelly Marie Tran played Rose Tico, right?
People call her KMT to be cute. Yeah. People know her name now.
She's adorable.
She is adorable.
I don't know why she got all that.
I'm glad they changed her hair in the Rise of Skywalker. I was not a fan of the bangs and like the anime side bangs.
It's just unfortunate that she got cut out of the movie a lot because a lot of her scene, from what I hear, I haven't watched any of the stuff because I haven't gotten my Blu-ray on Amazon. Jesus.
Come on.
Thanks, COVID.
What's holding you up?
No, but from what I hear, she was in a lot of scenes with Leia, and that it just didn't, the technology, either the VFX wasn't cutting it, or they had to cut something. And that so happens that they ended up cutting a lot of Rose Tico stuff.
They should have done that with Canto Bite.
Yeah.
Am I right, ladies?
Hey, I'm not disagreeing with you.
It's not good.
It's just not compelling to me.
Not good.
Sorry.
The fathiers are cute, but other than that, it's not good.
Really?
I'd pet one.
The flat face.
You wouldn't?
No.
You tell me you wouldn't pet one.
I'd much rather.
You're gonna look me.
I know.
In my face.
I would cut myself petting a Vulptex, but I'd much rather play with those things.
They look pointy.
But they're
cute
I'd
still would. Yeah. But you tell me you wouldn't pet
the fathiers look weird. The large ears and the flat faces.
Flat faces?
Yeah, they have no snout. They have a human shaped face.
Then that just means you can go like this for them. And just, wow. I thought you think you know a person. I would pet the shit out of a fathier.
Yeah, well.
It's like a gigantic dog, horse. They're cute.
I'd rather have an Orback.
They would shed a lot.
They would. My bad.
And that'd be sweeping.
Before we go on a huge Star Wars animal creature tangent.
Yeah, we could go on for a while. So let's get back to where am I? 5-pointer stays with the Odd Couple. Ramcams.
With the Odd Couple, sorry.
The Odd Couple.
The Odd Couple.
And they got a question. The answer was the obvious child.
I don't know. I don't know.
But they pulled it and they did it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I've never even, it doesn't even sound familiar.
Yeah.
Like, good for you guys. So it bounces back to Who's the Boss?
Who's the Bass?
Who's the Bass? 3-point Modern Classics goes to Ben.
Yeah.
Something about Thank You for Smoking.
And I agree with Jeff. I don't know how that's a modern classic.
I would love to know what's the criteria.
Yeah, for the criteria for
what makes it a modern classic.
Classics are a little easier, but like modern classics, I think of like Jaws, Godfather, Back to the Future, those type of films. Like, you know, films that I studied in film school, but that aren't like from the 60s and the 50s. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they're like 70s and 80s films.
Well, and also was Thank You for Smoking like really that big of a deal?
I think so. I think it was. I've only seen clips from it. I haven't seen the whole movie. But that came out in like what, in the 2000s, right?
No idea.
I don't know.
But
early to mid 2000s, I'm not sure. But like, yeah, it's like, how's that a modern class? I don't get whatever. But he got it right anyways.
They got it. He got it. Benjamin got it. 5-pointer. This is still Who's the Boss?
Yeah,
that's right. 5-pointers.
And it's
My
tied up
brain
at this
just
point,
stopped
right?
working for a second, huh?
It was tied up at this point, right?
Yes, actually. Disaster films, yeah, because they would have gotten a sudden death.
Yeah, and this is a very fitting 5-point question.
I don't know when they filmed this, but wow.
Yeah, well, this was back in. I can look at our text chain and see, but
before all this,
it was before all this shit went down. Yeah,
disaster films, and we're not talking Twister or anything like that. It's a film called Contagion, and about a virus that spread into a pandemic.
Sound familiar, people?
Very prophetic. Good job, PJ and Skalicki. So they got it. It was Contagion. They got it. 32-37. Who's the Boss? They set a new team record.
Hell.
Points scored in a team's match.
Can we get more points for setting records?
You need to talk to Papa Christian about that.
Can you get like some kind of special reward or something?
Probably not. Because we didn't even get that point for winning or being in a title match. Yeah. So it's going to be a no for me,
I'm just glad they went away with that rule altogether. So
yeah, that was weird. That was a weird time in all of our lives.
Yeah.
Post-match interviews. Ben says he thought the challenge was reasonable.
Oh, sorry.
Wow, you're very popular. He thought it was reasonable. Ben and Mark, they said a couple times they had nothing but respect for the odd couple. Somebody, I think it was Tom that said that you know Finstock Exchange is going to go undefeated, and it's like, Tom, we already lost.
We lost twice.
We already lost a couple times.
We already lost twice.
No matter. But Dan says he's going to have to go ahead and disagree with Finstock on that because the exchange, you know, basically, I think in so many words, he said the players are so good that they're just going to be playing with each other for belts. So
and a note on that undefeated comment. I think this was filmed before Atlanta, so that's what, because both of our losses came in Atlanta. So this was filmed definitely before Atlanta.
Sorry, Tom, I take it back.
Yeah,
retracted, redacted. I'm the asshole. So yeah, he says that they're all so good they're just going to be fighting each other for belts. So they're going to have to lose at some point. Spoiler alert.
We already have.
And Tom says, if you ain't scared already, get scared. If you ain't first, you're last. Then odd couple. Roxy said it came down to the very last question, even with spinner's choice for them and opponent's choice for odd couple.
Yeah.
And said she stated that even with odd couple getting opponents and even with Who's the Boss getting spinners, she still stated that odd couple outplayed Who's the Boss.
I have to disagree with her on that. Just because collectively, Who's the Boss missed one question.
In the first round.
Yeah, in the first rounds, Mark's miss. Everything after that, they've gotten, and they got every possible steal too. So by those, just by looking at that, they got outplayed.
I guess she's saying that. Well, we were playing round 2 with a handicap. You got spinners and we got opponents and we still won. So that means we outplayed you.
Well, sorry,
I'm guessing that's what her logic is.
Yeah, but that's the game sometimes. And to her argument, it's like, yeah, you got opponent's choice, but you ran with opponent's choice in a difficult category. Here, see and hear my air quotes. But like, I don't, let's see, because like you missed a key 3-pointer. You got a point stolen in the second. to me, that's outplaying your opponent. So
Yeah.
even those opponents and Spinner's choice, like who's to say that they would have gotten a category that they would have gotten? Would they have performed the same way?
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Yeah. That's a good point.
So with the match with Snyder and Irwin, that's completely the case.
Oh, no.
That's absolutely the case.
Snyder
outplayed Irwin, but he just got unlucky with what was it, his 5-pointer that he missed?
I don't even
or something
remember.
like that. But yeah, but in this case, I think the odd couple got outplayed. Both with the mental game and the physical game. Well, physical game.
I'm not sure that I would say that the odd couple. I'm not sure I would say that I think the odd couple got outplayed.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that the cards fell the way the cards.
Yeah,
fell.
that's a better way to put it.
I don't think anyone necessarily outplayed the other. I think both teams played fantastic.
Yeah.
And like everyone keeps saying, you're not going to set a record unless your opponent took you to the edge and your opponent is also killing it.
Exactly.
So where was I going with that? I don't think anybody outplayed the other. I don't think anyone outplayed the other.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just
how
they
how it
both
fell.
went through their 5-point questions. That's just how the cookie crumbled. You know, I don't necessarily think that because Who's the Boss won that they outplayed Odd Couple. I don't think I agree with Roxy that Odd Couple outplayed Who's the Boss.
Yeah.
I think that they just ran the course of the match, and that's it. Just the points stayed with Who's the Boss. So I'm not sure I'd say that anybody outplayed the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you bring up a good point. Like, I just think on paper, if you were just give me the stats, if you give me the score, the stats, and like who did what, who missed what, who stole what, it's like, oh yeah, clearly this team played better than that one.
Yeah.
So,
but just because you won doesn't mean you outplayed.
That's true too.
Because I mean, Snyder lost his Irwin match, but Snyder, he absolutely did outplay Ethan.
Oh yeah.
So just because you win doesn't mean you outplayed your opponent.
But yeah, that's my opinion. Clearly I'm wrong.
Yep.
I mean, that's how it is in marriage, guys. Sorry.
Let me tell you all the reasons why you're wrong.
So, anything else from the post-match interviews that?
Andreyko said that there's strategy in playing a game, and then there's just being a dick just to be a dick.
Yeah.
Says he's going to destroy them next time, and that the Ben Bateman character is getting tiresome. Snyder challenges Who's the Boss to an Iron Man match. Roxy says the exchange doesn't have the best players, and that's how you show it, and that's how you expose it. Sorry, my elbow just like cracked on the fucking table.
I don't get Roxy sometimes with the things she says. I mean, she's just trying to defend her players, and
she definitely. If you can't say anything about Roxy's loyalty to her players, she will fight tooth and
even though
nail for
what
her
she
players.
says really doesn't make all that sense, because when you look again on paper, looking strictly at wins and losses and records and belts and things, Vince Exchange has the best players right now. I mean, we've only had 2 losses. One of them was in a title match.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So it's like I think just Roxy just trying to not
rally her boys,
rally her guys, not so much save face, but like, hey, this is just a stumble. And again, like this was filmed way earlier on in the season. So because granted, I think if this Corona thing didn't happen, we would have gotten this match earlier than right now, because they're dragging all the tapings right now. So this was early on out, and this is an early stumble for them. And so far they've only had 3 matches with 1 win, and that was
Alex.
That was Alex.
Alex.
So Jeff has lost twice. So they're 1-2 now. So
3. What?
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Alex won the first.
Oh,
and
I'm
then
an idiot.
Jeff
I was
lost,
like,
and an odd couple lost.
I forgot
so
to add them together.
It's not it's not looking great for the Rockstars. But again, we have so many matches that have yet to be played. And it's just so hard to remove myself from the Finstock bias and to ignore the fact that we're at the top of the leaderboards right now with a commanding lead. But again, we've played the most matches combined out of all the factions.
Yeah.
When you combine the amount of matches that like the bottom half of the leaderboard has played, we've played that many matches. So it's hard to take that out of the equation for me at least. But we'll see what happens when all these rest of these matches drop, and after all this dies, all this COVID-19 stuff dies down, and we'll see where we're at.
Yeah, and I'm interested. Something that I was just like, ugh, was when Draco made that comment about, there's playing a game and there's strategy and there's just being a dick to be a dick, and he like legit seemed mad. I'm honestly literally not sure. Was that genuine or was that part of the game? Was that acting? Yeah. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because he showed up on backstage this week and he said that like his relationship with Ben
is totally different.
Yeah, in the Schmoedown, on the off camera, the relationship is completely different. Yeah. And he's like, you play the game and you act a part. Yeah. And I'm guessing he's saying that's acting a part.
Yeah.
But that felt very genuine to me.
It
felt very genuine.
I thought so. I mean, maybe when you're playing, it's easy to just lose yourself in the game and your role, and maybe in the moment take a ride with me. Maybe within the confines of the game and his character. I don't even know if this is going to make sense, but I feel like maybe it's just so easy to get immersed and lose yourself in it that they were genuine feelings within the confines of the match.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, so your character
because
is upset.
I'd be pissed too if that was me in the match. Like, hey man, fuck you. You know I meant Idris Elba. Jessica Elba. Like, I probably would have been like, come on, man. I probably would have felt the same way. So I'm sure in the heat of the moment, maybe those feelings were real. But then after the fact, it's like, yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
it's the game.
Yeah, but so, into that argument, and to get back to what the Draco thing and like how he said like there's playing the game, there's being a dick to be a dick. It's like that's how Ben gets to you, and it to me it felt like it worked.
And I'm honestly not sure that I would classify that as being a dick. I would just think that that's just Bateman being Bateman.
Yeah.
That he's cutthroat. He's ruthless.
That's
in these matches.
Knowing going up against Ben now, you have to be prepared for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's part of the game now. But
Ben is ruthless.
Oh yeah.
He is gonna do what he's got to do.
Yeah, and for those people that are like, well, what's the difference between things like with the Den and the Butcher Boys? That's like, what's the difference between what Ben's doing and what they're doing? It's like Ben's not like mocking you. And
Bateman, yeah.
Yes. Bateman's not like mocking you and making fun of you while you're answering questions or while the question's being asked. He waits between rounds and between question asking.
It's even just a stare.
He's really good about that
subtlety.
And I think what a lot of these rookies coming in, like what's his name on the Butcher Boys, Vinny. What he has to learn is that dial it back a bit while questions are being asked, while you're being while they're answering, because somebody on Facebook brought up like unsportsmanlike conduct and penalties for that.
Yeah.
And it's like I think it's like well, you have to play a character. How do you find the balance? Like, do it in between rounds. Do it while they're spinning the wheel. It's like you can stay in character, but when the game is being played, leave the opponent alone. Let them process the answer, process the question.
It's like the paradox of how do you be as heely as you want, but while being respectful of the game.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's the thing now you have to be aware of. And another thing that these rookies have to be aware of, and you see this all the time with characters, rookie characters especially, they hit it so hard.
Oh, they bang it.
So fast.
Real hard.
They muck bang it.
They muck bang it.
Sorry, it's a little meme with our friends right now.
They just muck bang it.
But they go so hard so fast, and they don't find their footing until they're like 2-3 matches in.
Yeah.
And they learn to dial it back a bit, and that's when they find their footing.
Yeah, like Oyama. Great example.
A great example.
Did not like him at first.
Chance, exact same reason. I think the only person to do this,
Chance is cool though.
Do this effectively. No, two people I think that could do this really effectively, where they did character work and balanced it out with trivia almost to perfection, is Tom and the Barbarian.
Tom as in Tom, not Dagnino. Tom as in Tom, like
from Tom and Paul.
Cuckoo,
so like,
not Cuckoo's Mess.
This is
just video.
It's like there are people like it wasn't a matter of them finding the footing. It was a matter of me getting cool with the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. So let's go ahead and get to rewind all the way back to the first question and that challenge, because we have a call in from a squadron commander.
Hey Andrew and Nicki, hope y'all are safe and doing well. just watched the match between the Odd Couple and Who's the Boss Part 2. Sorry to see that there's no more cutscenes for the time being.
Yeah, that's hard to do
It's
right
one of
now.
the many reasons why I would tune in for the Schmoedown.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
But I want to ask about Ben's challenge. I understand why he called it, as there have been previous matches where competitors would get the spelling wrong and wouldn't get the point. Is this a new rule that has been implemented? And do you think if Andrejko shouldn't have got the point? Love to hear your thoughts. As always, much love to everyone, and stay safe out there.
That was Squadron Commander Tamor Butta. Thank you for your support as always, buddy. Great guy.
Super great guy.
So, what are your thoughts on this? Because I obviously have my own as I unplug my phone because I have notes I got to read off of it. But so here's the thing. From my understanding, the rule for you, the reason you write your answer on the board in the first round is because you're answering the same questions, and this is really just to confirm that you know the answer. And spelling has never been.
Yeah, you're not just like copying what somebody else is saying out loud.
And yeah, exactly. Because like if we had no boards and like, oh, what's the answer? It's like
Idris Elba.
Oh yeah. It's Idris Elba. And it's like, okay, yeah. So that you write it down to confirm you know it.
Yeah.
And you're not cheating.
Yeah.
And spelling, as far as I know, as long as you're
in the ballpark,
and you.
I mean, didn't they accept Geppetto?
Yeah, the infamous Geppetto. How did he spell it? Like
Japeto.
I probably would have spelled it the same way.
You know what, man? I'm decent at spelling.
That's
I
a
would
hard
say.
name to spell.
I don't know how Geppetto's actually spelled, and he went phonetic, and that's the safest route to go.
Man, yeah. But like the difference between Elba and Alba, he said Elba.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he knows.
He knew it. But to play devil's advocate, he was the last person to answer the question. So so who's to say that he thought Idris Elba's name was Idris Elba? So who's to know that? And three people before him said Idris Elba, and he's like, oh yeah, Idris Elba, but you spelled it Elba. So
that's an interesting take.
If he was the first to answer it, then
that's an interesting take.
You know what? You see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying, but I feel like I'd give Mark Andrejko more credit than that.
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying completely, and that's an interesting take, and I never would have thought of that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that's the whole sole purpose of you writing the answers notes to make confirmation that you know it. So I'm curious because again, I do not doubt that Andrejko knows who Idris Elba is.
Yeah,
it's just he happens to spell Alba. So I can see maybe someone new doing that, and then I don't know if like they upheld it because they knew Andrejko knew who it was. Because what if it's a rookie player and they're second to answer and like he goes, yeah, Idris Elba, but you spelled it Alba, and like, you know what I mean? So that's very interesting because like another example of this is the infamous what is it with Roca, the Farrah Fawcett answer. Was it Farrah Fawcett?
Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda. Sorry, thank you. Horrible memory.
That's where I thought you were going, but I wasn't sure.
So this is the Jane Fonda, like
because it's not like he spelled it wrong. He just wrote hieroglyphics.
Yeah, so like because the whole thing was like he said Jane Fonda was the correct answer, but I don't think who was it? The Patriots said the right answer, but he's like, yeah, I said Jane Fonda, but he wrote scribbles down.
Oh, no absolute scribbles.
It. So, but then another example of that was David O. Russell with
I don't remember how that ended up.
He spelled it like Russell, like
O
Russell.
You know, I'm a leprechaun.
But it's O is like an initial, then Russell is his last name, from my understanding.
Yeah.
So like that's a little bit more like, does he think his last name is O'Russell and not
think he's Irish?
Yeah. But like he said it properly. So and he knew the person. It's just he might,
I honestly, in my honest opinion, I personally think they made the right choice by giving him.
I do too.
Point.
Thankfully, the match didn't come down to that one point.
Thankfully,
so
because then it would have been like, maybe a little bit more controversy.
See, yeah, because if Who's the Boss would have lost by 1 point, then there would have been problems.
Yeah, which would have sucked because then the challenge would have been gone already.
Yeah, exactly.
But not that you can retroactively challenge the first question when the match is over.
Yeah. But yeah, that's usually how the ruling is. And another example is 725-1. I knew the answer. I just didn't write down to 1. So that's the case where like You know what? Not just because this has been on my mind forever.
Well, I'm not sure what direction you're going.
So, because I was the first to answer that question.
Yeah.
And I clearly said 725 to 1. I just didn't write 2-1 on the board.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering why it's like, if this is the same kind of thing where spelling, well, it's not technically a spelling thing, but I clearly understood and I clearly knew the right answer. I just didn't happen to write it down.
Yeah.
I don't know. But again, to argue myself, it's just like, if the answer was Luke's, like, or the answer was Idris Elba, and I just wrote Idris. Yeah, Idris on there. And I said, yeah, Idris Elba. It's like, well, you didn't write down your last name. So
I don't think I would personally accept that.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, how many Idrises are there?
That's true, too.
In Hollywood or ever. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how common that name is.
I don't know. That's really what the ruling comes down to. As long as you're close to the answer while writing it down and you verbally say the right answer, you're getting the points.
If I was ruling in that match, if I was on the table with that one, I would have done the same thing, and I would have said, yeah, you get the point.
But my gut reaction to when Ben challenged was like, that is a good challenge. That is a very good challenge, because it could be argued that he got the question or the answer wrong because he spelled it wrong. Because it's completely, Idris Elba is a completely different person from Idris Elba.
Is there an Idris Elba that exists?
That's a good argument too.
I don't know. When Ben, first started issuing the challenge, I remember being like, really? I get it. But then I think about it and I'm like, was that something that tipped the match in their favor? Did he inadvertently kind of get in their heads a little bit?
Yeah.
Was he meaning to get in their heads? Was he solely focused on the way the name was spelled, or was he like, let me just and poke the bears a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, it might have been Ben just being Ben.
I think it was just Ben being Ben and saying, there's an open door, why would I not step into it?
Yeah.
Which
like
that's
strategy,
what
like
Ben
what do you
does.
mean, like mental games wise, or just I see
okay, I see what you're saying.
So I what is this?
What's happening here? No, you bring up a good point. When I say that he saw an open door and stepped into it, because didn't the same thing happen with him and Merle? Didn't he make a challenge with him and Merle for the belt?
Yes.
Didn't he?
I think so. Yeah, he did. He with oh my god. That match was so long ago. I can't remember.
What was it? Was it somebody's name? Oh my god, I'm embarrassed that we don't remember.
I can't remember. I do remember it's something like that.
But it was something that everybody was kind of like, come on, man, really? And it's like, yeah, really. I'm trying to win.
Yeah, and I think this is where we're going. We're just going about different ways. I think it's the Ben singing, here's my shot to make up or take some points away from my opponent on the smallest thing.
Yeah.
But let me go ahead and take that shot.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think necessarily... Hi. I don't necessarily think that
That's
it was...
bad for our audio listeners, sorry.
We just had a little moment.
She held my hand. Oh my god, maybe we'll ask her to the spring formal.
I think he likes me. But what I'm saying is, I don't think he did the challenge. And I don't know. Unless I sat down and talked to Bateman, I'm never going to know. Yeah. But
which I want to do, by the way.
Yeah, Ben, hit us up.
Yeah. You need to speak strategy.
I don't think that he was challenging it to be a dick. I don't think he was challenging it like, ooh, here's my chance to get in their heads. Yeah. Yes, I don't think he was doing it to play a mind game. I think in that moment that he was like, I have this much of a chance that they're going to say that that's not a real person. On a technicality. Yeah. And that point might win me the game.
Yeah. Because there's several different ways to use your challenge. It's on, hey, I know their question is wrong, or the answer that they gave is wrong. Here's the right answer. You need to take the points away from, which usually those are the ones that you end up taking the points away. Then there's the challenge of the answer isn't technically right because of wording of the question or something like that, or you challenge a question because the wording is so wonky, you gave the wrong answer because the question wasn't written properly. Then there's the technicality one, which this is the one. You know what I mean? An example of a technicality one would be my match. the fake wedge answer. She the question was who sits next to Luke in the briefing before the Battle of Yavin. I'm paraphrasing the question, obviously, and she goes Cole Tackbright, aka fake wedge, and Christian's like, yeah, I guess yeah. Technically, you're right, and technically within canon confines, she is right. But we're talking Movius movie trivia.
Movius was that guy from The Matrix, right?
We're talking movies.
You want
here.
the red pill or the blue pill, baby? Come into the Matrix with me.
So when we're talking the context of the movie, when it was theatrically released, that person is meant to be Wedge Antilles, and that's the exact reason why I challenged, because on a technicality, she should be wrong.
And that's exactly why I think that Ben issued this challenge. Was there's a technicality. If this is my window, I'm gonna take it. I don't think he was doing it to play a mind game. I think it just might have ended up coincidentally turning into a mind game.
Turning into a mind game that Andrea could get to him.
I'd love to ask him. I'd love to say, hey, was that a mind game? Was it a little both?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think it ended up being a challenge for a technicality. And then it ended up being, it's like, hey, he's rattled. Let me get into his head more.
I guess.
That could have been.
No, I just feel like
a fun little bonus for Ben.
Yeah. I just feel like question 1 is like early to be playing a mind game. Like, let me warm up.
Hey, man, the sooner you get into your opponent's head, the more you can rattle them.
I guess.
And in my opinion, it ended up working.
If that was if Ben did that with any intention of getting into their brains,
from the
then
challenge,
Ben is just on another level.
Yeah.
Which we already know that, but damn, question 1. Damn, boy.
Yeah, so thank you for that question from Tamor. That was
Tamor.
We went on a
What
really
good
topic. And again, our squadron commanders, if you are not aware, I tweeted this out and sent a message to all our patrons to that. If you're at the commander tier now, you get to submit topics for us to discuss on our weekly shows. So on Beyond the Schmoedown and on Going Rogue. So you get to dictate the conversation. So go ahead and join the Patreon, patreon.com/Andrew and Nicki, Nicki, to join the Patreon, become a member of the squadron. So, that's that match. So, again, we only have one match to go over. So I took notes, as much as possible for like SCN. They don't really talk strictly Schmoedown, but then I pay more attention on backstage.
SCN's been pretty loose.
Yeah, it's been
thanks, Corona.
If you watched the last episode this past Friday,
it was
wow.
It was a trip.
It
was a journey.
Yeah, it was. I was about to say train wreck, but
they took their lemons and they made lemonade.
I know exactly the struggle they go through because we use Skype to Skype in our guests,
and we had some technical difficulties with Mark Riley early this week.
So I completely understand. Because
understood. It's comforting to see.
Yeah. The big boys.
Everybody has technical problems. Yeah. So
yeah, but so this past week, they talked really, really briefly about the remote IG tournament that was supposed to happen.
Yes.
And the reason they ended up like canceling it is pretty much the exact reasons that we said they, didn't want to go through it.
Yeah.
Was the fact of the logistics of it, the fact that you're taking a huge element out of the game, and just.
And like they said. Mike Kalinowski's camera kept freezing.
Yeah.
Excellent example. Mike Kalinowski, I'm pretty sure he'd be in that tournament, and he can't be in that.
No, he actually said that he wasn't going to be in the tournament.
Oh, whatever. You know the point I'm trying to make. Christmas. Raining on my parade.
Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good example of like, you can't have people like freezing in the middle of a match.
Yeah, and right in the middle of giving answers too. That would be so bad.
So I think it was for the best. If you're gonna do virtual matches, it's best to do them for exhibition when nothing's really riding on it except for personal pride and bragging rights.
Even though things can get heated in exhibitions, because
they can.
The MCU exhibition, Mike got really, really upset in that one because of a challenge that Jay challenged, the Thomas the Train, the full name of the train.
Thomas the Train.
Yeah,
that was a question in a geek.
It was from Ant-Man.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Not about the actual Thomas the Train.
No. Thomas the Train makes an appearance.
I didn't know that was in
But like, Kalinowski didn't write the full name of the thing. I have no idea what the full name of Thomas the Train is. But he didn't write the whole thing down, and he got that point taken away. So, and Mike was pissed. So,
what did he say? Thomas the Train?
He said Thomas the Train, but there's a full. Like Thomas the Locomotive Train, something rather.
Oh, that's kind of dumb.
We should press on that because we have a kid. I don't know. whatever. But
girls don't really like trains that
so
much.
yeah,
Who knows? Maybe she might.
Yeah, that was one of the announcements. Another announcement they made was a new segment that they're introducing to the Patreon is gonna be a monthly documentary. Yes, sorry. Wow, it's late, guys. Yeah, so they're gonna do a monthly documentary, like they did with the Roka one.
Yeah.
So it's just to fill that void of no matches. And the first one's gonna be documenting the very first season of Schmoedown. And if you aren't familiar with the first season of the Schmoedown, the format is vastly different.
Oh my God,
it is different. Was
that when they had the trial of JTE?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, yeah, that was because season 1 was singles, and then the season 2 they only did teams.
Really?
Yeah, and then they melded those two. They brought those two together, and then season 3 is the one that you're most familiar with. Even season 3 has a wonky format.
I wasn't a fan.
Yeah,
how like round 1 was like, oh, you go and then I go and then you go and I go.
I think the format that is right now
it's perfect.
It's perfect. Don't ever touch this format.
Yeah, I know.
The only difference is like so many questions in the first round, so many questions in the second round for different divisions and different titles and stuff like that.
The basic formula is.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Yeah, actually. So then, and a big chunk of the conversation that I have right now is from this past match with the Den and the
yes, the
Butcher
controversy.
Boys. The controversy with Ben and Rachel.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so like Frankie goes on Twitter or he goes on Rundown and he starts not talking smack, but he's giving the Den a lot of like flack for what they're doing and like heel personas and stuff. And Frank does this to everybody. Like he does.
Frank doesn't pull punches.
Yeah, he doesn't pull punches, and rightfully so. That's his job.
Yeah.
To call people out and stuff. And their show is more staying with kayfabe. And so it's not like this show where we pull the curtain back. It's like, well, they said this on backstage, and we bring people in and we actually ask those questions about how things went backstage and after the matches, because when we were in Orlando for the title match between Founding Fathers and Corruption. We went backstage because we're special.
No biggie.
No big deal. We went backstage.
We were just hanging out.
We were hanging out with everybody, and like I saw Roka and Mike talking about the match. They're like, dude, man, that second question was so awesome. I'm like, this is weird.
What's happening? I thought you guys hated each other. Please stop.
But that's the thing. It's like that's the stuff that people don't see. Mm-hmm. And Frank admitted to that on backstage. It's like, hey, I only react to what I see on tape. I don't really go because like he's one of these people who knows how things go on backstage, especially now that he lives in LA and like that. But he still sticks to kayfabe. He reacts to what is presented to the fans on tape. So because that's what that the majority of the fans are familiar with, and he gets given all that flack, and then he again kept commenting on Twitter.
I think he was just like promoting the show, like, hey, watch me talk about the Den.
Yeah, and then Ben chimes in with his tweets and all that stuff.
And he was like, hey man, how about you tweet me to my face? At me, bro. And it kind of like Christian retweeted it. It was kind of like, stoking the fire a little bit, But yeah, it got a little weird.
Yes, because like a lot of the argument, especially on Harloff's side, is like if you're gonna go heel because they're clearly a heel team, you have to embrace everything,
the good and the bad, which is probably gonna be mostly bad.
From my understanding, what Christian was getting at is that like Ben and Rachel want to be heels, they want to have that heel persona, but they still want the fans to cheer for them and love them. It's like that's not what a heel is,
especially not initially. I feel like
because like,
has there really been a heel anybody?
Mike was kind of like that.
No, listen. Actually, let me answer my own question. Andrew Guy. People love him. Yeah, he gets the award all the time.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody loves to hate him, and everybody.
But they still boo him at live events, and you know what I mean.
That's true.
They love to hate him.
That's true.
And the Patriots are another team where like everybody hated, me included. I hated the Patriots.
The real Patriots and the Schmoedown Patriots.
It's like I was like, oh man! Every time they would go up for a title match, because every match that they were going in when they had the titles were title matches, and every single match, like I can't wait for these guys to lose. I can't wait for this team to beat them. And every time they win, I'm like, come on, come on. And it's like, if you are not prepared to take that kind of heat, maybe you shouldn't be playing a heel.
I could never be a heel.
I
could never.
Yeah, I mean,
a bitch could never.
and I love Rachel and I love Ben. Ben is probably one of the people. Matter of fact, he's the only Schmoedown personality that we clicked with almost immediately. One of. But we met him very loosely once or twice in Orlando and in LA.
Like I said, when we went to the taping, and we saw him there, I was like, wow, they got a Countdown boy.
Yeah. And we barely like interacted with him. We said a couple of words about Star Wars and in my match and everything, but then we really started to we're friends now. We're really good friends now. So and it's weird because like we forged this friendship over like the internet.
Yeah, we're internet buddies. We're cyber buddies.
We're not cyber friends. We're friends. Like this is the thing, and like like it's one of those things. It's like, oh man, Ben, I love you, man, but you gotta like, and I can totally relate to this because it's
gotta be hard.
It is hard because
I would be doing the same thing.
Yeah, because
if I'm gonna be honest,
after my match, I want to fully embrace the whole like Schmoedown experience. I was going on and watching reaction videos and looking at comments and stuff like that, and there were some things that I was like, oh my god, I don't agree with that. I kind of hate that. It's like
somebody says something about you that you're like, hey, and you want to call them out and be like, no, that's not the way it went. That's not what I was saying. That's not what I did.
It's just one of those things. And like Ben is probably better at doing this than I am because he's so familiar with the platform and familiar with comments and things like that. And it's really easy to just get into that headspace of like, man, fuck you for saying that. Like, you don't know what I go through. And like, I had my own little beef online with a couple of people, and I went on Twitter and like tried my best not to rant. But then in retrospect, it's like, hey, that's part of being part of the Schmoedown and being in a competitor. So I get why Ben and Rachel got so upset. But then to Christian's point, it's like, if you want to be a heel, you gotta embrace. This is just part of it.
I mean, have you not seen Roka? Guy and the Patriots and all those other heels, they take a lot of heat. Roka takes heat to this day. How many fucking times? The fourth round Roka is not even funny anymore.
I know.
Like, but he rolls with those punches and he takes it like a champ because he is a champ. You know what I'm saying? But it's like they've all been doing this for years and they still get so much heat and they just roll with it. However, this is Rachel's probably first big step into healiness. This is Ben's rookie season. So if I was in their shoes, I'd be doing the exact same thing.
And again, like to Ben's point, he's a little bit more familiar because he's gotten so much stuff with the Bagel Boy. And how when he rant on SEN and people just come after him for that, and it's just like, I think this is one of those things where it's like, come on guys, again, seriously, are we? And
he has taken a lot of shit
already, and like the fact of that they're talking about so much about this on Backstage and SEN, it's like this is getting blown out of proportion.
I think it got blown out of proportion.
It's like what we're really talking about this.
Like we're still talking
about this. Why are we talking? And somebody said, I think it was Harloff that said the reason they're getting so much flack is because they won the match.
Yes.
If they would have lost that match, he said that it would be like
the heat would be on the Butcher Boys.
Yeah.
Probably.
I technically, I agree and don't agree with that because
I agree.
I think the reason it got blown out of proportion is because of the back and forth between Frank and Ben on Twitter. You know what I mean? Because it's like it ended up becoming like a yelling match. They're like, well, fuck you, and it's like
at me, bro.
Yeah, at me. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why it got blown out of proportion because of the back and forth between Frank and Rachel and Ben. So I just think it was just like you talk about it, you move on. Because bottom line, you won the match. I mean that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
So, I mean that's something that I just didn't get. But I also have another point of like that we talked about earlier with like newer characters coming in and just hating it so hard at first and learn to find their footing.
Yeah,
so.
I feel like new, and this is all just the natural evolution of a character in the Schmoedown or a lot of things probably. But I feel like newer players that come in or like people that are just kind of feeling out the heel stuff, they come in and they're like leaning so far in. Yeah. And then you look at the legends that have been doing this for a while. You look at your guys and your Rokas. I feel like the new guys are leaning in, like, look at how tough I am. And then the other guys, they just lean back, like,
yeah, just let it fall in front of you.
they just have a different air about them.
Yeah.
However,
And that's just it's
it's
experience.
because experience.
Yeah.
Guy has probably had people shitting on him
Yeah.
for
And
years.
didn't you say Guy was in the chat room?
Guy was in the chat, and he was like, he said something about, I don't remember what the exact wording he used, but he was like, this is I think he used the word pathetic display
Of being a heel.
of like being a heel.
Yeah.
And he was like, you guys are horrible heels.
Yeah, but again, it's to that point of experience. Rachel has no experience being a heel. This is Ben's rookie season. They just got to find their footing.
They absolutely have to find
Given
their
more
footing.
matches, they'll find their footing, and they'll. It's a learning curve, as of anything. And Ben said himself, he's probably the worst part about his Schmoedown gameplay is the character work.
Yeah.
So
It's got to be hard because, you're going into this match as yourself. You're going in as Ben Bateman. You're going in as Andrew Guy.
Yeah.
You're not going in as the Big Show. That was the first wrestler that came to my brain with like a stage name. But, you're playing more or less as yourself. So it's got to be really difficult when people start being like, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
Fuck that guy.
exactly.
And it's
'Cause
like,
you're
I'm me.
Yeah,
You're talking about me.
It's really like these characters are it's like a heightened version of yourselves.
Yeah.
To an extent, like Andrew Guy, from everything I've heard, that version of Andrew Guy is not what
Totally
Andrew Guy is.
fabricated.
It's completely fabricated. But you do like it's acting. You pour yourself into this character,
Yeah.
and when people attack that character, it's like they're attacking you. Like, hey, fuck you.
Yeah.
So it's like. It's hard.
It's gotta be really
I
hard.
completely get why Ben and Rachel lashed out because it's very easy to get into that bubble of like people attacking you and taking it personal
And wanting to defend yourself.
Yeah, you want to defend yourself. It's like, hey, that's not how it happened. That's not what I am. No, that's not what I'm about. So
I just think that it was blown way out of
it
proportion.
just got talked about to death. And it's like, let's just move on because they won the match. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and Frankie was just doing his job.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Rachel and Ben are great people. I love them both.
Love them
It's
both.
like,
They're so cool.
let's just let them fucking live.
But yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but again, they had one of these episodes of Backstage where there's like a rotating door of guests.
Yeah.
And Mike Kalinowski came on. He got to tell his side of the story with the whole thing with Mara and the title match, him not playing the character and playing the character.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember fully, but like he was shocked that Mara ended up taking it so personal, and she ended up like blocking him on Twitter and Facebook and stuff. Like she took it to that level, and he was just not like disappointed, but he was like shocked of like, wow, I didn't mean for it to
I would be
go
too,
that
yeah.
far, but I'm just surprised she took it that way.
Wow.
So so he got to tell his side of the story. And if you want to go back, you can go back and watch the Backstage episode. I'm paraphrasing all this because we're running a little long right now, but then they got into more of the Founding Fathers versus Corruption 4. And they got to cut promos and stuff, and I love this back and forth between Mike and Roka because they said that they have been friends for a long time, like 20 plus years, and it shows.
Yeah.
It really, especially when they start shit talking each other.
Yeah.
It's like they say things that it's like
These are just buddy shit.
It's just
talking
buddy
each
shit
other.
talking. It's like you don't. You know how to not push each other's buttons. You know what to say to your buddy, and you know how far to take it. And
I feel the same way about our friends.
Yeah.
You know what's fair game. You know what's off limits.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how to make each other crazy. You know what to say and when to say it. So yeah, it's fun to see that.
Yeah, so that's I'm looking forward to the promos for that. But I think the last note I have here for there's a new SEN tier, or what I meant Schmoedown tier. But there's one of the new tiers is there's gonna I think Christian said for one of the exhibition things to replace the IG tournament, he's gonna do a fan league tournament, like a fan tournament. I have no idea how they're gonna pull this off. I have no idea how they're gonna narrow the pull down to the competitors.
How do you get in? How
How
do you qualify?
Exactly. Maybe because there has been a fan league that you can be a part of, like a Patreon fan league. When I can't remember what tier it's at. That once you become a part of that tier, you can enter into the fan league. Maybe that's how they're doing it.
I say we go into the Facebook group and we find all those threads with all those people that are
Yeah,
like, man, I would have destroyed
all
Dan
those
Murrell.
big
And then
dick
we get
boys.
those people.
Well, them big
and
dick
we
boys.
say, all right, let's put our dick where our mouth is and let's let you do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah, because I'm tired of those comments. I'm so tired of those comments because it's so easy to play from home.
Let's just
It's
go.
so easy.
We'll go back into all those threads and we'll pull all those names.
Yeah,
and then
pull all those names.
There's
like,
our family.
Here's your chance, because I've said it before. I was nervous in my audition. I was so nervous in my audition. I missed easy questions, and Christian actually stopped in the middle of the audition. Was like, relax, take your time. I can see that you know these answers. It's just you're getting in your own head. So slow down. Let's continue. So, and that was me sitting in front of my computer. So
who knows? Maybe these people behind their computers, maybe they are the next Dan Murrell combined with
Yeah,
Sam
and if
Levine
that's
combined with John Roca.
And if that's the case, fantastic. We found a new Schmoedown
Good
star.
for you. How
Good for
about we
you.
make you a part of it?
Yeah,
because,
exactly. So,
I'd love to
you
see
know.
it.
So it's a win-win. You get to prove how good you are, and we get a new Schmoedown star.
And if you're not very good, then kind of saw that one coming a mile away.
But yeah, anything else you want to talk about? Because we're running the limit right now.
I don't want to go too far over.
Yeah.
I don't want to bore people.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
We're just gonna go ahead and end this episode now. So Nicki DiMolanta, where can they find you online?
Online, on the internet, on a website that's called twitter.com at Dimmy, DIMMMYYY. That's me.
And as for me, you can follow me on Twitter. I don't so much post to Instagram anymore, but you can find me on those two at Drew DiMolanta, DIMALANTA. You can support this channel by subscribing, hitting that bell notification, hit like, comment on this video, because we are in video format. We've always been on YouTube, but this is a strictly video format now. But yeah, hit the bell icon to be notified when we go live on Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Going Rogue, our weekly Star Wars stream. And I think tomorrow, we've already confirmed this, we will be having Ben Goddard on.
Tomorrow. Oh, you're
Yes.
talking as though
As this
it's Monday.
episode airs. Yes. So it's tomorrow on tomorrow's stream, because we're recording this on Saturday.
Yeah.
Ben Goddard will be on with us.
Ben Goddard.
Ben Goddard. Yes, he's appearing on all of our shows.
He's the best.
He's the best. The
Why
best.
wouldn't he?
The best, Jerry. The best.
The best, Jerry. The best.
And another way you can help support this channel is by joining the Patreon, becoming a member of the squadron, by going to patreon.com/Andrew and Nicki. We have a plethora of exclusive content.
A bevy.
A bevy, if you might say, including access to our play-alongs with this one over here. So the first one went live to the public, just to give you a little taste.
Didn't go well. Tell you that much
But
for free.
everybody loved it. It's a very popular segment.
We gotta decide which match
Which
I'm gonna
match?
play along with
Yes,
next.
so you comment below to let us know
Yeah.
which one you like to see. But if you want to see it, you gotta join the Patreon.
Oh,
Also,
no.
yeah. So and also another thing you get my Twitch replays. I go live on Twitch every so often, but if you want to see it, if you can't tune in live, you want to watch it again on the replay, you got to join the Patreon for that. Anything else I should plug? Oh yes, so also if you're a member of the Commander tier, you get your name shouted out on our weekly shows.
Hell yeah.
So we have our two squadron commanders, Tamor Butter and
Butter.
And not Anthony Nugent. Ferris Mathana. Wow, I should have had those names written down. But thank you to our squadron commanders for all of the support.
Yes.
So I
Many
think that's
yous.
anything else that we have to plug.
I got some t-shirts on TeePublic.
Oh yes, thank you. T-shirts on TeePublic, very few of them. But yeah,
Two.
yeah,
two of 'em.
Two of them, but 4 designs.
Oh,
free.
two for Beyond the Schmoedown. I think there's a Going Rogue one or something.
Yes. So we got a couple of them. They're really cool designs. Original Brian Ward designs.
Yeah.
So with that,
Ward
I
is
think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here on this episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you
Next time.